Hey guys, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be updated every time I make a new video. Thanks, let's begin. Trash, treasure, or just tragic. Winterbeast. This is the 1992 shot-on-video horror film, I guess, that started production in the mid-80s and it took a long time to complete. The plot. An ancient Indian creature is waiting to be reborn. There are totems going around killing people near a lodge, and the park rangers must try and stop this homegrown horror. That's right. This is the final installment in the Homegrown Horror Set Volume 1. Now, I already reviewed Fatal Exam and Beyond Dream's Door, and Volume 2 of Homegrown Horrors is being released. Winterbeast is a disjointed yet sometimes well-done little horror flick. The editing and story structure are all over the place. Continuity has no bounds, and things just happen without too much relevance. However, the writing has its moments where it shines. A couple of the actors are real standouts, and the effects are crude, yet mesmerizing. You can't take your eyes off them. The effects were the whole reason I bought this set, to be honest. I'm a sucker for stop animation. The film, despite its title, doesn't actually take place during winter. On a budget of around $10,000. The film was shot around fall and summer in Newbury, Massachusetts. The location does have a creepiness to it which is amplified by decent cinematography, great lighting in some shots, and a chilling musical score. There are certain creative shots, as well as retro, purely neon shots that are a bit out of place, but serve the movie well. This clashes horribly with the editing and continuity, though. Years will separate between shots where the characters have aged, but the scene hasn't. Editing-wise, it kind of has a decent pace, but it doesn't have any real good flow. But instead it transitions at the wrong times. Night will be day, and day will be night. Filters will be used. And the editing and continuity failed in that department. Also, the movie starts out one way, with the story to tell, but then kind of tumbles around and trying to find its footing. Eventually, it does remember the story, and it wraps up without any audio from the characters. At least, none that I could hear. The whole last act is just footage with music overlaid. For the characters, we have Sergeant Bill Whitman, played by Tim R. Morgan. He's a good guy who takes the job kind of seriously. He has dreams that foresee the future, but that never really plays a part in the story, or is ever even explained. They tried, but it all came crashing down halfway through. Ranger Stillman, played by Mike Margie, who's never played in anything else, is a casual guy who doesn't want to get into too much trouble with the evil spirit of the forest, but would rather get in trouble with the bottle.
Hey, what is this, some kind of ice cream social? How does a guy get a drink in this Roach Motel? Careful.
He's not a bad dude, just a bit of a party animal, with a sense of humor. Margie really does have good acting chops. He feels natural, and doesn't oversell his performance like so many others who have played comedic reliefs have. Charlie Perkins, played by Charles Majka, I think, is the token Native American Indian who, through the gap between his teeth, voices his concerns and believes the legend.
Now that is absolutely incredible.
Ranger Bradford, played by Lisa Breer, is worried about the legends and wants to stay clear of the mountains and the evil that resides on them. She's concerned for her safety and the safety of others. Then we have David Sheldon, the Dave Sheldon, played by Bob Harlow. He is the best character and actor in this movie. With his voice of a chain smoker and the face of a psycho, he steals every frame he is printed on. I am so surprised he wasn't in anything else before or after this. He was such a joy to watch, as I'm sure the character was to play for Harlow. Definitely a scene stealer. Such a underappreciated great performance.
Where do you come off telling me about my mountain? I've lived here all my life, as did my father and his father before him. There aren't any demons in this town except assholes who try to create them.
The late Christopher Thies directed this feature film that barely makes it to feature length, running at only 77 minutes. It's got a decent pace to it. Some scenes do drag on a bit too long, but I feel the film has a lot of heart and dedication in it, and that shows on screen. Speaking of what else shows on screen, the gore, the effects. We get a couple, or one, skeletal skull on a spine bursting through some guy's chest, which was from the band Dawkins' music video, Burning Like a Flame. Cheap yet badass. We also get a body bloodlessly smacked into the side of a house, a decapitation, a clawed neck, and a wax figure standing in for a burning guy. The stop animation is crude, but has a charm to it, much like the rest of this crazy movie. For the monsters, we get Groot-alike, hashtag not my alien, Stale Squatch, Vile Vulture, and the Winterbeast Feast for the Eyes. None of the effects, stop animation, or practical are all that stellar. In fact, the choice for stop animation came about after filming had already begun. They were opting for just a man in a suit. I'm glad they didn't go with that route, though. The stop animation is the only reason to keep watching this trashy treasure. The motion picture soundtrack. Michael Perlstein has dabbled in the world of Z-grade horror, with films such as the sci-fi no-budget epic The Deadly Spawn, and the cheaper-than-a-prostitute's favorite motel, Fun Time, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Here he is given free range to work that synthesizer keyboard to the max. The editing for the music is bad, though. What starts off as eerie and creepy, or even suspenseful, quickly delves into noticeable changes in song choice that greatly affect the scenes they happen in, and take the viewer out of the moment for a bit. Perlstein composed decent music for this movie. I think it works well given the nature of the film, nothing as awesome as The Deadly Spawn, but still serviceable. Overall, it's kind of a tie between this and Fatal Exam for the worst of the box set. While I would give this the edge, I'd probably want to go back to watch Fatal Exam over this any day. Not so much for watching, but background noise. There's a much more cohesive story in Fatal Exam, and despite it being dull, it has a consistent charm to it. Winterbeast is too random and all over the place. It's got a couple of fun performances and neat effects. However, even though the Fatal Exam is like 40 minutes longer, I just like an more easy to follow story. That is not to say I don't like complex stories. However, when your movie is trying to be complex and simple and juggles the two poorly, well, you're going to have a bad time. Well, overall, I give Winterbeast a 1 out of 5. That's gonna do it for this box set and my reviews for the films featured within. All 3 films have been reviewed, and I can't wait to get into Volume 2. This was a lot of fun to look at and see through how much it's just a crazy world out there, how people actually were able to make these things, get them on video, and, yeah, eventually Blu-ray. Thank you all for watching. Hit that notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video. And as always, subscribe.